5. No sleep for the wicked. After a long day at work, a Japanese man named Kimaru was woken from a deep sleep at 3 AM by the distinct feeling of something touching his feet. He had collapsed into bed exhausted just hours earlier. He lived alone, so his mind raced to find an explanation for the sudden pressure on his legs. But what he didn't know in that terrifying moment was that this wasn't the beginning of the night's horror. It was the end. Unbeknownst to him, his hidden security camera had already been recording the entity that was in the room with him. This is the moment it finally decided to wake him up. He's dead asleep, alone in his room, and something at the foot of his bed physically yanks his blanket hard enough to jolt him awake. For most people, that terrifying moment would be the climax of the story. But remember what we said earlier? For Kimaru, this wasn't the start of the night's horror. It was just the moment he finally woke up to it. The real terror is what his hidden camera had been recording for hours while he was completely oblivious. This is what he found after checking the camera footage. The entity gets bolder, even banging on the bed frame, trying to get a reaction. Now, that sound is incredibly clear because he's sleeping on a shikabuton, a traditional, thin Japanese mattress on a hard platform. There's no thick mattress to muffle the sound. Every knock, every thump is amplified, which makes the next detail the camera captures even more disturbing. The first thing you need to notice is the bed. It's a solid platform base with absolutely no space underneath, and we get a clear view when the blanket lifts off. There is nowhere for a person to be hiding. Now, if you're a skeptic, your bullshit antennas are probably already up. But there's one more detail here, makes this footage a hell of a lot harder to explain. The blanket starts moving and ruffling on its own, and then lifts mid-air, as if someone invisible is releasing it after clutching it. If its word is a trick, how does it mimic the weight, release, and motion of a real hand when there's no one to be seen? And don't forget, earlier, it moved under the blanket without lifting it, which would be incredibly hard to fake without disturbing the entire sheet. According to Kimaru, this wasn't his first weird experience, but it was the first time he caught something this terrifying on camera, and maybe the only time he ever will, because after that night, it's safe to say he probably started house hunting. Also, the man claimed that he had been experiencing strange things around the house, hence the need for a security camera, but this was the first time something this scary was caught. So what do you think? Real poltergeist activity, or is there some plausible explanation for what was captured that night? Let us know down below. Number 4. No books allowed. Late one night, somewhere in Mexico, a man and his wife are winding down for the night. Tucked into bed, the kids already asleep, and nothing but silence in the air. Until a strange sound echoed from just outside their bedroom door. Not the kind of sound you shrug off, the kind that makes your stomach drop a little. Fortunately, they had CCTV cameras installed, not because of burglars. But because this wasn't the first time something weird had happened around the house, just the first time they'd actually caught it on camera, this was what was caught. As the man steps out to investigate, he finds a mess of books scattered across the floor, like someone or something had knocked them over on purpose. And here's the kicker, no one else was awake. The kids were sound asleep, the hallway empty. So what just happened? Watch closely. The books don't just fall, but seem to be yanked down, as if pulled off the shelf with some force. No sign of strings or suspicious shadows, and even after scrubbing through the entire clip, we found no jump cuts or visual trickery that would suggest staging. Clearly, this wasn't a case of shelf collapse or bad stacking. This was deliberate, like whatever did it was trying to pass a message, and was watching from the hallway. The man later explained that the strange occurrence at stupid o'clock had become a reoccurring theme in the house, from strange noises, objects moving, lights flickering when no one's home. But this was the first time they were able to catch it on camera. But what do you think? Was this a case of a ghost that really hates their book collection, or a family prank for views? I guess we'll never know. Number 3. The Paranormal Tug. On March 23rd, 2025, just another chill evening with a mother scrolling through social media and her little girl nearby playing with her toy on the bed. Everything felt perfectly normal until their security camera captured something so disturbing that it made them question whether their home was as safe as they thought. Take a look. As the little girl sits playing with her toy, she suddenly gets yanked backwards off the bed, hard. And the strangest part is that there was no one behind her. The bed was almost right up against the wall, and there was absolutely no way for someone to pull her. So how does a child sitting with her legs apart for balance suddenly fall backwards like she's been pulled by the hair? Watch the movement closely. There was no wobble, just a jerking motion that sent her straight down. And if it was just poor posture or an accident, why did she react as if something grabbed her? This is tilting towards what you already suspecting, but be sure to leave your comments down below. Number 2. Conjuring bottles. The woman in this next video had just finished deep cleaning her kid's room, wiped down every surface, organised the toys, and made sure her toddler was safely placed back in her playpen, with her daughter watching Miss Rachel. She dashed downstairs to do some laundry. When she returned, her daughter was holding a blue bottle stem, one that the mother swore she didn't give her, and a bottle that had no business being on the nursery floor. Disturbed and confused, she rushed to review the baby monitor footage, and what she found left her reeling. Take a look. first, the toddler appears calm, eyes glued to the show, until she suddenly turns her attention to something just off screen, as if someone had entered the room. Then, a blue bottle stem strangely appears out of nowhere, as if it were delivered by the Tooth Fairy, which she picks up and starts nibbling on. Moments later, a bottle falls right in front of her, and then, perhaps the most eerie part, she blows a kiss to someone or something we can't see, almost like she was impressed by their service. Now, let's break it down. Remember that the mother only reviewed the baby monitor footage because she was confused about how her daughter had the bottle and the stem. Well, this is what she said when commenters asked her to make another video to show what her kid's room looked like.
Okay, so this is my daughter's playpen that she was in when the bottle thing happened. So she was standing right here. The stem would have fallen about here. And as you can see, like directly in front of that on the other side is the toy bin where the bottle had landed. It landed about here. There's nothing around that the bottles could have come from, especially because like they landed straight down. So there's a little dresser, and then over there, and there is where the dressing room is, which is where the bottles were, where I put everything before I went downstairs to take everything out. So really no explanation. There's the monitor that caught it.
She claims that all baby bottles were washed and stored in the changing room, not in the nursery. Even more curious, the stem that dropped first doesn't even match the bottle that fell later. Even scarier is when you observe the stem closely, you'll see that it appeared to be outside of the playpen at first, almost as if it spawned behind the white barrier, and in a split second, it seems to pass through the net, not above, not under, through. Then again, there's no way that baby was holding it because we can see both hands and mouth. Even if the stem was being held somewhere on the crib, or the baby's clothes, why would it first appear outside, and then, almost as if it teleports back inside? So where did it come from? Some commenters believe that this was a textbook case of ghostly interaction, possibly a gentle ghost trying to help. The mother later shared that her own mother passed away when her daughter was just 14 months old, and never got to meet her granddaughter. She believes it was the spirit of the grandmother trying to tell her that her daughter was hungry, and many commenters were quick to point out how their little ones also call out the names of some deceased relatives they never met, fearing that spirits have a way of communicating with kids. What do you make of this video? Was this her mother trying to let her know that she's still with them? Or could it be something more sinister that should be expelled? Like, now? On the other hand, did the bottle somehow find a way to defy the laws of physics? We'll let you decide. Number 1. The birthday surprise. TikToker Danielle is not the type to believe in ghosts. You know, the kind that call BS on anything she can't explain with science, logic, or a well-placed eye roll. But ever since moving into a new house, things have been happening that science didn't quite prepare her for. You know, that unsettling feeling that you get when it feels like you're not alone, even when you are. But it all came to head during her last birthday, when friends came to celebrate with her and her family. Luckily, this time around, the cameras were out to capture what had left her and her friends scratching their heads for answers. Take a look.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear John. Happy birthday to you.
I said happy birthday, Blondie.
Did you do it?
That wasn't me.
That was strange, wasn't it?
As she struggles to blow out the candles after probably wishing that whatever she was feeling only existed in her head, the candles mysteriously go out, as if someone or something was sick of seeing her puffing and puffing. You'd expect someone across the table to be messing around, right? But the shock on Danielle's face, paired with the stunned reactions from everyone else, suggests this wasn't part of the plan. No one even moved. The most chilling part isn't the candles went out. It's that it happened in a bright room, surrounded by friends during a moment of celebration. It's a dark reminder that these things don't just wait for you in the dark. Sometimes, they want to be part of the party, and they'll blow out the candles for you. Tunnel getting closer and closer. A pale, featureless head slowly peeks around the side of the stall, watching him, before quickly pulling back into the darkness. In the video, you can see the top half of the figure quite clearly. It's vaguely humanoid, with its head tilted in what seems to be curiosity. The angular shoulders and glowing red eyes